So, you're looking at taking the SAT in 2026? Then you are in the exact right place. We're about to break down the entire schedule for you, from all the key test dates to those deadlines you absolutely can't miss. Let's dive into your 2026 game plan.
So here's the game plan for today. First, we'll talk about how to build a smart timeline. Then we'll get into the confirmed dates for spring 2026 and even peek ahead into the fall. After that, we'll cover all the important stuff like deadlines and fees, and we'll wrap it all up with a clear action plan so you know exactly what your next move should be.
Okay, first up, mastering your timeline. The whole point here is simple. Let's grab the reins of this whole process and turn any of that stress you might be feeling into a smart, winning strategy. Feeling that pressure? Yeah, I get it. That's completely normal. The SAT feels like this huge thing on the horizon, and it is so easy to feel overwhelmed. But here's the secret. Just knowing the lay of the land is the first and most important step to conquering it.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. By the time we're done here, you're going to have all the key dates and details you need to plan your prep, pick your perfect test date, and walk into that exam room feeling totally confident.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. The info you really need to know. Section 2 is all about the confirmed test dates for spring 2026. These are locked in so you can start building your plan around them, like today.
Your first shot at the digital SAT in 2026 is going to be in March. You know, this is a really popular choice for a reason. A lot of students like to get one test done before all the craziness of final exams and end-of-year projects starts to hit.
So, pull out your phone, open that calendar app. The first test date is Saturday, March 14th. But remember, knowing the test date is only half the story.
Because deadlines are everything. For that March 14th test, your main registration deadline is February 27th. Now, if you miss it, you have this tiny last chance window until March 3rd for late registration, but just know it's going to cost you an extra fee.
If March feels like it's coming up a little too fast, no worries. Your next chance is in May. This is another great option because it gives you a couple more months of the school year to really dig in and prepare.
And that test is set for Saturday, May 2nd. Now, quick heads up, this day often lands right before AP exams start, so that time of year can get pretty intense. You'll definitely want to plan for that. And for that May 2nd test, here are the deadlines to watch. The main registration cutoff is April 17th. Your absolute final chance to register late or make changes is just 4 days later on April 21st. So seriously, don't cut it close with this one. All right, this is it. Your last shot before that sweet, sweet summer break comes in early June. For a lot of students, taking the SAT then is the perfect way to wrap up the school year. And that date is Saturday, June 6th. This gives you the entire school year to study, so you can really give it your all before heading into a very well-deserved break. For that June 6th test, your registration deadline is May 22nd, and the final day for any changes is May 26th. And there you have it. That's the entire spring lineup. All 3 confirmed dates and their deadlines. So, what if you're planning to test later in the year? Let's get into Section 3 and look at the anticipated dates for late 2026. Now, I have to put a big disclaimer here. These dates are based on what's happened in past years. They are not officially confirmed yet. So please, please, please double-check the official College Board website as we get closer. Okay, so based on what we've seen year after year, we're expecting a late summer test around August 15th. That's usually followed by fall dates right around October 3rd, November 7th, and December 5th. Now, for any high school seniors listening, these fall dates are absolutely critical for getting your scores in before those college application deadlines. Okay, you've got the dates circled on your calendar. Now for Section 4, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the fees, the rules, and all that fine print that you really need to pay attention to. Let's talk money. As you can see, the base registration fee is $68 for everybody. The big difference is for international students, who also have a regional fee on top of that. And you'll also notice that fees for things like registering late or changing your test center are a little bit different. Knowing these numbers now can save you from any surprises later on.
Okay, everyone, listen up, because this might be the single most important detail we talk about today. Every single deadline we've mentioned expires at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time in the U.S. That means if you're on the West Coast, your real deadline is 8:59 p.m. your time. If you're in another country, you've got to do the math. Seriously, do not let a time zone mix-up keep you from registering. And what happens if your plans change and you need to cancel? Well, the good news is the process itself is super simple. You just log into your My SAT account, find the registration, and hit Cancel. It's a really easy two-step process, but just remember those cancellation fees we just looked at.
I know that was a ton of dates and details, so for our last section, let's boil it all down into a simple, straightforward action plan to get you moving.
All right, here's your checklist. First thing, pick your target test date and maybe even a backup and get them on your calendar. Second, right next to those dates, write down the registration deadlines. Third, look into fee waivers. You might be able to test for free. Fourth, and this is super important for the digital SAT, if you need to borrow a device, you have to register and request it at least 30 days early. And I promise, for the last time, don't forget that all deadlines are Eastern Time.
At the end of the day, it all really comes down to this question. Each of these dates isn't just a square on a calendar, it's an opportunity. It's a potential launchpad for your entire college journey. So take a look at your schedule, think about your goals, and decide which one of these dates is going to be yours. You've got this.